It's 95 K-Days Morning Show with your boy Romeo. This station is all about legendary things. And right now I have two legends sitting right here in front of me. Of course, we got our man, Mr. Uno, in the building. And then one of the most sharpest men I've ever seen ever in my life, Norman Carter, coming in the spot. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so thankful. I'm blessed for every day. I'm 75 years old, and I'm doing what I always wanted to do, brother.
And he's still doing it.
Yes. Oh no, yeah, he steals the show every show.
You know.
I know he does.
Yeah, everywhere every show, you know, we do festivals around the country, and when he comes on, man, you got thousands of people singing every word for word, and the energy's amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And so let's go back. How did this friendship, how did this business and relationship even come together with Mr. Uno and, of course, Norman Carter?
My son.
Okay.
Damon.
Okay. He connected the dots.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing new. That's something he always do.
Yes. So when I decided to do the Chicano Music Festival,
yeah,
you know, and like you said, I love that you asked that, because it does, like, legendary and timeless music has no age, it has no color. It just is what it is. It's a timeless situation. So me growing up as an artist and being around the country, and then when I got to where I'm at now, I'm like, I want to put on a festival with all the cultural elements that is just beyond anything else.
Yeah.
Who was the first group I thought of? The Delfonics.
Legendary.
You know, so I got connected with Minus.
Yeah.
We got the Delfonics on. You know, the festival's absolutely amazing. We have a whole different lineup. But when he came and I got to meet him, and then I was at the festival, thousands of people listening to La La Means I Love You live.
Yeah.
Man, that was something else. And then we did it in Vegas. We're going back to San Diego. And as we were in that process, we just kind of became friends, you know. So, you know, on the artist side of it, I started working on my album, and I ended up in the studio one day. We came up with this song. I said, I got to get my man to come down here and do this live and direct the way that he does it on stage. And here we are, man.
He crushed it. When I first heard the record, I was like, oh, so Norman Carter, we talk about the Delfonics experience. Just off the air, we were talking about how you've met Malcolm X, right? Oh, yeah. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. So listen, what drew you to Mr. Uno?
Well, like I said, you know, my son met him, and he had booked us on a few shows, and, you know, through one process or another, I guess they, you know, became close.
Yeah.
And like he said, you know, he had booked us on a few shows, and I think he had heard enough of my vocal ability that he thought that it would be a good thing to have me do some of the hooks.
Yeah.
And I was more than willing to do it, you know, because when I heard the song, it just grabbed you right away. You know, it just like, bam, you know what I'm saying?
And so we're talking about some one takes. What was that studio experience like when y'all put this record together?
Oh, man. I mean, not to be like on some bragging stuff, but
you could do that. You've earned that.
You know, it was like one take.
Okay.
Like he went in there and he just made it happen. You know, so I did like the skeleton part of it in San Diego, and then I brought it to Los Angeles. I brought it to Fingers.
Okay.
Fingers here in Los Angeles.
Fingers, yeah.
And so we went to a studio. So it was already there by the time that he went in the booth and we did it. It was just magical, bro. Even like doing the video for it yesterday in San Diego, it was just magical.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about that energetic, timeless, ageless frequency that absolutely never dies and puts that suntan on your spirit from the moment you wake up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what we have.
Yeah.
Not had. Have.
That's what, yeah, exactly. Still have.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Still have.
Well said. Well said.
Definitely
Yes,
well said. So there's no intimidation at all. You know he's legendary. He's in the studio while you laying down your thing. Like what's the motivation? Like, is it like, yo, I got to make sure I show up and show out. I got to do this right because I know he's listening right now. He's in here.
No. I think
I'm impressed by this guy. Okay, I'm really impressed by. Remember, I didn't come up during the hip hop rap era. I didn't even like that stuff at all. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But there are a few people. I also knew Tupac. Okay, and I knew the group Digital Underground. So you know, I knew those guys because somehow we connected.
Yeah.
But I listened to the fire in his. You know, just the way he spits that out.
Passion
I said to myself, oh, shit, I got to do something good. So it was a two-way thing. He don't know. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, for me to hear that is crazy. You got to understand how crazy this is for me to hear that. You know, but I think ultimately more than anything, I think beyond like emotional nerves, I think that the presence of symbiotic energy and the pureness and the intent. The foundation of our intent is pure.
Yeah.
So I think that when you operate from that space, the rest just kind of takes care of itself organically.
I agree. So let's take me back to 2017 when I first got called on to come help Art LeBeau do some of his shows. What I learned from doing his shows, he became my mentor. The fact that he even allowed me to take the stage with him. But what I saw was the black and brown community.
Yeah.
And how we all came together.
Yeah.
And we all identified with each other by those songs.
1
The
million.
Delfonics experience.
Art
to
LeBeau used to
everybody.
tell me, man, I love the Delfonics. I love it. I mean, and this is like 30 years ago when I first did his show. You know? And he had us on the show every year ever since.
Yeah. That's just how he. That's how he moves. That's how he worked.
And that's basically, you know, again, why we're here. You know, I think there's been a lot of samples over the years. I think a lot of artists have done, you know, some great songs and some great art, but it's never happened like this.
Yeah.
It's never really happened like this, where like two seasoned guys come to this point, and it's not even a song. It's more like a composition. You know what I mean? So to be able to, for us to come together and be able to do it and unite our cultures, and be able to uplift our cultures. And I think symmetrically, the timing right now, it's right. It's been a very long time since something special like this has taken place.
Man, I could just feel the energy in the room. Like, I could just tell. Like, there's no joke about this. You guys love what you're doing.
Oh, no, yeah, for sure.
He's high energy, okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to follow him slowly.
Mr. Carter be like, I got to catch up with you, man. Hold on, dog.
Hey, if you saw yesterday what I saw when he was doing the video in San Diego, man, this guy was running like 100 miles an hour, man.
I just think that when it happens organically, I mean, in my opinion, what I've learned being on both sides of it, when I was a young artist, the want creates a barrier between you and the unlimited you.
Right.
Because you're stuck on the want. You know, you have this desire to be famous and be on the radio, and you're chasing that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't allow you to operate from a place of freedom. So now that I'm older and I'm doing these festivals that I don't put myself in, I do it for the culture. I do it to bridge the gap, to close the gap and build the bridge where we can have this symbiotic energy between the black and the brown.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because we're all synonymously the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Geographics, you know what I mean? No matter where you go, the black and the brown are the same. It's the same struggle.
Absolutely, bro.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
and I think that doing this together and doing it at this time and taking place right now where it's at, not only is it different and special, but I just think, again, it's that timeless energy that we need.
Yeah,
the world needs that.
And for K-Day Nation, of course, you know what I'm saying, we're a station that plays music from the 80s and 90s.
Shout out to K-Day, the very first hip-hop station in Los Angeles, to come up here and do this and have us here, man. Salute.
Hey, it is an honor, and we also have that young generation that taps in. They got to know that, like, you've been doing this game for a few decades. You've been on stage with Snoop Dogg, and you've rubbed elbows with cats in the business. So this ain't new to you.
No.
But the fact you still have the same passion says a lot. So when we talk about Norman Carter and the Delfonics experience, like, you've been singing since the age of what?
Well, first let me go all the way back. Okay?
Take us back.
Okay, I'm a Jamaican-born, mother's Cuban, father is Panamanian.
Okay.
So that tells you I'm a mixture of all three. As a little boy when I was in Jamaica, I used to listen to singers like Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, groups like the Drifters. So I always had that desire. I think it started when I was about 8. I heard a kid, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, singing a song, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? And he had this beautiful high-pitched voice. That got my attention.
Okay.
That got it. So now we step forward. I came here in '63. When I got here, Motown was just ready to explode. They hadn't exploded yet. They were just ready. What more did you need than to hear it? The Supremes, the Temptations, Smokey Robinson. Now, the group that was my favorite, and the guy who was my favorite in the group was the Temptations, and the guy name was Eddie Kendricks. The most beautiful falsetto I've heard in my life, okay?
Amazing falsetto, yeah.
So that's when the bug really hit me, is when I got here, because everything is popping now. You know, you got Motown here, you know, I think later on they had the Sound of Philadelphia, and then they had whatever. So I was just consumed with singing since I was about 8 years old, listening to Frankie Lyman sing "Why Do Fools Fall in Love?"
Yeah.
Okay. And, you know, the journey have been filled with its ups and downs because it didn't happen for me like I would wanted it to do, like when I was a teenager or in my early 20s, you know. So I just kept following the dream. I transferred from Connecticut to California. There was a club called the Total Experience down on Crenshaw and another one called Mavericks Flat. As a matter of fact, Mavericks Flat is where I met Howard Hewitt.
Wow.
Shalimar was already out, but he wasn't in the group. There was another guy.
He wasn't in the group originally?
No, there was another guy in the group.
Okay.
And so from what I heard, Jeffrey Daniels, who was a member, said this guy told whoever the guy was that was running this record company in Hollywood that he wanted X amount of dollars. And the guy was like, well, look, you haven't earned it yet. He said, well, call me when you're ready. In come Howard Hewitt. And Jeffrey Daniels said he's still waiting for that call.
Howard Hewitt can sing too, man. He got vocals too.
That boy is bad. Are you kidding me, man? Whew.
Man, I mean, that's an era of like where you had to be able to sing. Like you had to bring it.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And on the spot. Do you remember like whenever you had the audition on your first performance, what song you may have sang?
Ooh, God. I sang Sam Cooke because at that time, I love Sam Cooke, you know. Darling, you send me.
That's what I wanted.
I know you. That was my man. Now, for excitement, it
Yeah.
was Jackie Wilson. That's a whole different kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? So,
Man.
you know, my journey, like I said, you know, when my son was born, I kind of walked away from singing because I didn't see it going where I wanted it to go. So I went and got a regular job. But I had already known the Delfonics they came to my high school.
Right.
Okay, but I didn't really get to know them well until I came to L.A. and I ran into them at the Total Experience. Okay, the lead singer name is William Hart. May he rest in peace. He just died 2022, and his brother Wilbur and another guy named Randy Kane. Randy was replaced by a guy named Major Harris who left and had a big hit called "Love Won't Let Me Wait." So
I remember that song.
within a few years, William found out that I was a singer because I didn't bother him like most people would do. Hey, man, I didn't say nothing. His guitar player said, man, you ever heard Norman sing? And he said, no, I didn't know Norman sing. So he asked me to sing something. He said, man, are you kidding me? All the time you was around me, you never said nothing.
Been holding out.
Okay, right. But I saw how people approach these singers, these well-known singers.
Yeah.
If they're a singer, they just keep bugging him. Singers don't help other singers. They're trying to help themselves. Okay? That's how it is.
Yeah.
So he called me one day, man, and he said, hey, man, you know, I got something for you. I want you to go out on the road. So I went out with him, but his voice was deteriorating at that point.
Okay.
So at one point he said, listen, I want you to replace me. I'm going to give you Major Harris. I'm not giving you my brother. For whatever reason, they never got along, and he's an original member. He gave me Major and another guy named Pat Palmer. And that's when it started, man.
Wow.
And I tell you, it's like, I still can't believe. The Moments had a song called, he said, I want to pinch myself to make sure that I'm not dreaming, because the way you make me feel, I feel like screaming. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got to pinch myself to believe, especially this.
Yeah.
I'm doing more than pinching myself.
Come on.
I love you, brother.
Yeah, I love you
50,
too,
60
bro. I
years
love
later,
you
you
too,
still
man.
living your dream.
That's
You
what I'm
still doing
saying.
yours.
And that's why I call myself Last Chance.
Yeah.
No. I was telling him, Romeo, yesterday that I did the video back on the block where I grew up.
Yes.
Nice.
I did it in the inner city where I grew up, on the corner house where I grew up. Now there's a Sherman Community Center in the middle.
Okay.
That was promised to us back in the days, and it's finally here. It brings unity, brings community, gives workshops to the kids. You know, it's all about giving back. So I wanted to do the video there.
Yeah.
So when they pull up and they're walking towards there, I'm looking at the porch where I used to listen to La La Means I Love You.
That blew my
Hey
mind.
love,
Yeah,
for the
that
love I
blew
gave to you
my
in the
mind.
boombox when I was 15 years old.
And
And then here he comes. And now the whole community's there watching this happen. And I'm telling you, kids from 10 years old, 15 years old, 20, coming up to him singing his songs.
Yeah.
crazy.
And that's what I mean about
His
the
little daughter
magnitude
over there,
of
wherever she's at.
the
you
black
know.
and the brown
Yeah.
and the power of the ageless, eternal music that will never, ever, ever, die.
And how the music part of your life has gone full circle.
Yes.
For this to be happening.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it's simply amazing, man. I'm excited y'all got this new project, and I know K Nation. Look, normally we don't play the new, but for you, oh no, we're gonna do it.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna
Appreciate
throw it to
you.
my man, DJ23. You got to introduce a new single, and the video is gonna be coming out when?
February 17th.
That part.
Yep, so it'll be dropping, and this is Mr. Little One, El Chicano, featuring the great, the one, the only
Come on.
Norman Carter of the Delfonics. Let's go, baby. Shout out to K-Day, Romeo.